What's up guys, it's Matt Shu from Upright Health, and in today's video we're going to be talking about hip impingement or FAI for martial artists and how I've seen that play out several times over the last couple of years with people who do martial arts and who are throwing kicks and feeling like they are really restricted in their hips. Several years ago, Shane Dowd from GotRom.com and I created the FAI fix to help people who had hip mobility issues and hip pain, and also had been told by doctors that they had FAI or hip impingement. Over the years, we've worked with a lot of people, talked with a lot of people, Skyped with a lot of people who have this diagnosis and who have run into hip pinching and hip discomfort in the outside portion of their hips. So that's actually this area that they constantly feel like just gets jammed up. And then when they're martial artists, they go to throw kicks, like a roundhouse kick in capoeira. I believe it's called the martello. It's basically throwing a kick so that the leg is shooting out parallel to the floor. So like the direction of the kneecap is pointing basically parallel to the floor. And when they do that, they find that despite being able to get a lot of height, they are feeling pain and discomfort. I've actually seen this with Taekwondo practitioners. I've seen this with Thai kickboxing practitioners. I've seen this across a bunch of different martial arts disciplines where people who have spent years, literally years, kicking in this way still have crappy hip mobility, and not just bad, but like really bad hip mobility. I don't do a ton of martial arts personally. I mess around with it and kind of use it as inspiration for just learning how to move and dance. So I've been thinking about this kicking motion though a lot, and thinking about the components of it and where people get jammed up and where people tend to be really weak in their hip muscles, and how those all coalesce and make more sense for somebody who's suffering with hip impingement and who is a martial artist. So let's talk about what's happening. When you're throwing one of these kicks, you're trying to throw a roundhouse kick or a martello or whatever you're calling it, and you are trying to do this in a clean, controlled way, you want to have your stance leg not doing that much, and you want your pelvis to be able to move or not move based on whatever your decision is. You want it to be clean control, right? So you don't want to have to be moving your pelvis around in order to throw the kick. What you want to do is be able to stand on that one leg, pelvis is lifted a little bit up on one side, and then you want to internally rotate the kicking leg so that you can throw that kick. If you want extra power, of course you could start rotating on top of the stance leg. You can move the pelvis around to generate more power. But what happens with people who have hip mobility issues and who are still throwing these kicks as hard as they can and as high as they can is they'll actually rely on the stance leg articulating with the pelvis, which means they're not getting very much abduction, they're not getting much hip flexion, they're not getting much hip internal rotation on the kicking leg, and instead they're just taking the whole pelvis and trying to throw the whole pelvis on top of the stance leg to generate power and force, and that is just causing muscular issues on both sides, because the hip muscles on the kicking leg now are no longer learning how to actually articulate the hip joint. Instead, you're just teaching those muscles to freeze the leg into the hip socket while you are articulating on the other side and making the stance leg hip joint do all the motion. And on that side, you're not even making it do that much. You're not really training it in other motions because you're favoring that pattern so much, you don't really have other options. So what happens is when you do this for years and years and years, if it's Taekwondo, for example, you're now training in a funky kicking pattern that gets the job done, but is just freezing up your hip joint really badly. Think about how much the hip muscles have to stiffen up around the kicking leg to keep it feeling stable and secure on impact when you're throwing a kick like this. You're never practicing stabilizing in any other awkward position. You're just kicking with the hip joint locked in the same position all the time. And that's not what you want to do. So again, when we look at this from another view, you can see what we want to see with a cleaner kick is that the hip flexes on the kicking leg, and then you're getting some internal rotation, and then the actual kick itself, just as a slow kind of easy control drill to make sure that you have hip joint mobility to throw this kick without compensation. When you see yourself from the same angle throwing the kick and you're doing it in an uncontrolled way without full hip range of motion, you're going to see yourself twisting on top of the stance leg and moving the pelvis around to try to get the range that you're looking for. So what can you do about this? Well, the answer is to improve hip flexion and hip internal rotation. If you're looking for ways to do that, be sure to check out the links in the description box to our do-it-yourself programs and the playlist on hips. You've got hundreds of videos of things you can do to improve your hip mobility. One thing though I want to show you in this video is how to just work directly on the hip internal rotation piece as it relates to the kick. So it's something that I started playing with recently, and it's really helpful in making my hips feel really good. So to do this exercise, you don't really need any fancy equipment. You can use a rail, you can use a couch, you can use a chair, you could do this even on the floor. What you're gonna do is put your leg out to the side, so you're in abduction, and then you're going to work on different amounts of hip flexion and internal rotation. So if you have your knee anchored to the arm of a chair, for example, you can be trying to lift the ankle and foot up higher than the level of the knee. That's going to be working the hip internal rotators like the glute minimus, the TFL, and parts of the gluteus medius. When you do this, you're going to probably be shocked at how little range of motion you have, because these are not muscles you generally use much or have to use much in daily life. If you're doing this on the floor, you can be doing the exact same thing, playing with how much you're leaning your body, how you're positioning your body to achieve different angles as they relate to your kicks. So for example, if you are trying to be able to get that hip internal rotation while you are in a really high kicking position, you need to be positioning yourself so you have a lot of abduction in the kicking leg and then are doing the internal rotation. Again, you can be creative about where you do this. Do it on the floor, do it with a yoga block, do it at different angles, do it in different positions so that you have those options if you're trying to throw harder and higher kicks and also not hiding your poor hip mobility, really working to improve your hip mobility. Now, how many times should you be working on this exercise? That's going to vary based on you as an individual, but if you've been throwing crappy kicks with crappy hip mobility for years and years and years, then you are going to need to work on this quite a bit for at least a couple months. I would suggest at least once a day, if not twice or more per day, as your body can tolerate. Especially when you first start doing this exercise, you may feel like your hip muscles get a bit sore and you may not be able to do it more than once a day, and you may not be able to do it every single day. You're going to have to listen to your body and kind of feel for the quality of motion you get after you've been doing it. If it feels like, hey, that's improving my hip comfort and range of motion, obviously keep on going with it. But if it feels like, oh man, like that's really tiring and I need to give that a little rest and it's really sore and I can't walk, that's probably too much, and you may be needing to do other things, other stretches, which again, check out the hips playlist, check out the FAI Fix program for really detailed, comprehensive ideas to help you troubleshoot your hips, or check out our, any of the links down in the description box that may be helpful for you. If I have to give you a really short and sweet answer for how often to do it, then I would just say do it as much as you can without making yourself feel crummy. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for this video. I hope this helps you out, all you martial artists out there trying to throw kicks without screwing up your hips. Be sure to give these ideas a good try and start working with this exercise to see how it feels for your roundhouse kicks. I hope you find it helpful. If you do, drop me a comment, or you have more questions, drop me a comment. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification icon so you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks. Life shouldn't.